Don't make me call my dad. You want him to me too. A crazy interaction. Every now and then, I have people ask me why I'm still on Twitter. Because Twitter is a cesspool. Obviously, Twitter is actually like my biggest platform. I have the most reach on Twitter. I don't have that much reach on Blue Sky. Also, on Blue Sky, most people agree with me. Trans kids exist. Trans healthcare is healthcare. And affirming care saves lives. All these things, you know? People on Blue Sky agree with me. Twitter is a cesspool. It is a huge echo chamber for the right. They boost each other and they are going to harass anyone who is like going against their ideology. I kind of enjoy the fact that I can disrupt their flow. You know, we had the situation with Kirsche going on. I don't really want to go that much into it, but essentially the Vice articles were taken down because Kirsche posted this tweet. I mean, you know, it doesn't really debunk that much. It's just like, I am a silly little fox. Anything I say shouldn't be used against me. And it's ending with, I don't want to go to court over this, but if you keep calling me a Nazi and keep calling for my sponsors to drop me, what else am I supposed to do? Maybe stop pushing right-wing talking points. That could be useful. Anyways, the Vice articles are down. All 3 of them, including how Kirsche's fan base has harassed Anna Valens. Anyways, for the right, this is a huge victory. It's over because people are pushing the idea that like, oh, the legal team was scared and they saw merit in the claims and thus had to take it down to avoid legal actions. In reality, they just didn't want to deal with it and dropped it. It is not like an out of context hit piece like they're claiming. It is just the words of Kirsche. We have like all the clips. There's no context that is going to like make these things right. Anyways, people always ask me why I'm still here. You go into the comments, there's like so much transphobia going on. I get DMs that are transphobic. I have people like this. Stop being a bigot. Heterophobia, a feeling of resentment and bitterness LGBTQ people have towards heterosexuals, stemming from not fitting in with the basic interpersonal relationship dynamics between males and females and being out of sync with the natural order of humanity. This is just like transphobia and homophobia bundled together and packaged as like, no, your resentment for the system, your bitterness for the cishet normative, that is actually like you being heterophobic because you're out of sync with the natural order of humanity. Why is it not the natural order of animals? If it's the natural order, how come this is just like specifically humanity? Might that be because other animal species have gay relationships? Might that be why this is like specifically for humanity and pushing the cishet normative? Phobia suggests it's fear, irrational fear or aversion. It is not resentment and bitterness. That's like calling a victim of abuse a misandrist for feeling resentment or being like a little bit more cautious around men. But yeah, I also get like comments of like, you messed up. I don't mind trans people. I just misgender people like you because you don't deserve any basic human decency because you are not saying exactly what I am thinking. These people are just like looking for an excuse or like a reason to justify why they hate trans people, but show, you know, the basic compassion to other trans people who hate people like me too. A lot of trans people have internalized transphobia, and people like that are taking advantage of that because they're like, well, you know, you're one of the good ones, but like these people, these freaks are the reason why you don't have rights, why people are going after you. They want people like me to be invalidated by transphobic trans people because it makes it seem like there's validity to the claims. It's the same with TERFs. The reason why right-wingers hyperfixate and boost TERFs is because they are women who are pushing transphobia. It is very effective. I'm proud of you for not backing down. I'm literally just here because there are sometimes funny interactions that come from it. Because like people were like, oh, Kirsche won, Kirsche won. I just tweeted, Kirsche won. What exactly did she win? The general VTubing community doesn't support her views. She bullied smaller creators and threatens legal actions against critics. She got her community to fund her expectation, sure, but where's this heading? Losing more opportunities. 500 comments. I go into the comments. I obviously have people be like, oh, there's no general VTubing community. But I also have this guy. I ain't gonna lie. You sound mad AF. I don't know why, but I feel like people who like post this emoji in this context are always mad. I don't even know who this is. You don't know who Tectone is? So he is a streamer. He got really big through Genshin. As far as I know, the Genshin community doesn't really like him. You sound mad as fuck. Really? Sweetie? You sound mad? Is my tone of voice a little bit too aggressive? I have to tone it down a little bit? And just like talk like this? Is he a hot twink? No, he is an alleged abuser. That's why he resigned from OTK. He brought his own father on streams. If you don't know who his father is, you might have seen this.
The story of Colonel Michael Robertson, who commanded Fort Bliss's 31st Combat Support Hospital at Camp Dwyer, a military base and airfield in the Helmand River Valley in Afghanistan. Last week, Colonel Robertson was convicted by a military judge of 14 charges, including having pornography on his government computer, sexually harassing 3 women, and assaulting 5 women. 8 women that served under his command testified at great cost to their careers and their privacy. Colonel Robertson routinely touched them without permission.
So I quote tweeted this with, do I sound as mad as you were at Hassan because your dad is a racist? This has 9,000 likes. And it's kind of interesting because people in here, obviously generally, are like supportive of what I'm saying and making fun of him. But there are also like people in here who are like, oh, you're making this personal. You sound mad. Desperate lash out. I'm not lashing out. I think I'm just like, I'm just calling him out. And it's interesting that the people have more sympathy for Tectone because his father is a then people have sympathy for the victims of Tectone's dad. Isn't that kind of curious? And then they turn around and they are screaming at, oh, trans women, they're a danger to society. Like, you're excusing, you're enabling this behavior because men don't hold other men accountable when they do these things. It is disgusting. Anyways, that is not the end of it, because that is not the screenshot from my banner. So where did that come from? Tectone tweeted, had a surreal conversation with another streamer this morning. That was really eye-opening to me. If you've only seen the tweets and the clips that circulate online about me, you're 100% justified in thinking I'm a monster. Kind of funny, to be honest. People are dunking on Tectone because his ex alleged him of sexual assault. How are you supposed to feel if a guy is abusive and makes you cry? Then shoves your head on his crotch and demands you suck him off. And his excuses emotion just turns me on when you cry. Or when you asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down till you throw up. Guilt trips you into giving BJs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park, so you owe me. This is insane. That is literally like guys being like, I have a Tinder date. This is our first date. I am paying for the woman. So actually, you owe me sex. Like, what the is happening in the mind of men? I don't even know how to like process this. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what he's going to keep telling you to do. He doesn't touch you, doesn't have sex with you, just keeps you around as a BJ machine and degrades you, makes you feel ugly. Don't wear baggy clothes, straighten your hair, at least wear eyeliner around the house. Your self-worth totally crushed. I hate that people want me. I didn't listen because I was so manipulated. I hate that I was lied to when another girl who went through worse was trying to come forward. Me and her are good now. but I should have listened. When you're in it, you feel blind to reason. I see some comments that are worried, and I just want to let you all know I am out and have my own place and I'm safe. Don't want to worry anyone. I've been taking it one day at a time since. If you've only seen the tweets and the clips that circulate online about me, you are 100% justified in thinking I'm a monster. Obviously, boys will be boys, men will be men. The dudes who are like still supporting Tectone are like, oh, you're just listening to like a woman without evidence. You're just taking her word for it, but you're not listening to his side because, oh, every woman always tells the truth about SA and stuff. Kind of that reasoning. But I replied with, I only read your ex's dog, obviously mean threat. It was enough to think you're a monster. Don't make me call my dad. You want him to me too. A crazy interaction. And I can't believe that he actually tweeted that and he didn't delete it. Like, what? I'm wondering, do you want to call your dad to ask for tips on how to carry on his legacy? Or did you want him to do what he did to me? That is insane. Oh, it's just jokes. I mean, this guy was crying on stream because how dare her son reveal the dark truth about his veteran dad with cancer. Tectone can't even stream with his dad anymore because how would that look? No empathy for the victims. Literally enabling it. This is why we live in a society that is full of abuse. This is why so many women don't come forward to talk about the abuse. Because while this guy still has a career, everybody in the circle is like downplaying what he did or completely ignoring it. The women, the victims, are traumatized. And that is insane to me. This is the reason why I cannot leave Twitter. All of these right-wingers, all of these like alt-right reactionary people, they are so like in their little circle. If someone is beefing with one of the gang, they're coming after them to defend them and call them out or whatnot. And then they get dunked on and then they come back for more. And then I'm at a point where I have people who want to desperately get into that circle, try to start drama with me in hopes that I'm going to call them out. So they get like thrown money at them. This is surreal. These right-wingers are saying that I'm grifting. I literally have not gained a lot through this interaction. I have gained a couple of likes on Twitter. There's no financial gain. The video I did on Kirsche barely made me 20 euros. Kirsche's sponsor drops her. She gets $3,000 in donations. To own the liberals. There's like this weird hive mind, this weird like cult mentality where it's like, oh, you attack one of us, I'm going to like fund them. You saw that with like Shiloh Hendricks, who said the N-word to a 5-year-old and almost got like $600,000 in donations. This is what the media landscape looks like. And you could turn around and you're like, well, you could just like ignore them. And then what? I feel like ignoring these people, I feel like not calling out a bad behavior is what led exactly to Trump's first term. Because if you ignore it, if you're like, oh, they're just like in their small little corner, eventually this small little niche community is growing larger and larger to the point where when you stand up to it, you're actually going to be cancelled. If you get out of line, they're going to make an example out of you. This is what Kirsche did by going after creators that are so much smaller than she is. She knows her audience is really toxic. It's really wild. She knows how obsessed her fans are with her. How it's like a cult mentality. How much she can get away with. This is like one of the examples. This VTuber has 2,000 followers. 2%? 3%? Of Kirsche's following. Saying that so much Kirsche hate has been on my timeline recently. And to that I say, keep it going, guys. I love to see those racist Mayo Moon crickets get dragged to filth. Kirsche replies with, actually, I'm a fox. And quote tweets this. This has 222,000 views, 12,000 likes. Because of that, Nia actually got a lot of hatred. 836 comments. 740,000 views. Obviously a lot of slurs and stuff. Obviously a lot of racism. And it's just like dogpiling on a small creator. Nyara doesn't care because of the internalized white guilt. Why are you here? Not sure you want Hassan as your guy. He still thinks... No, he doesn't. Wait, did I miss a message from a transphobic person? You will always be a man. Are you still here? Account suspended or deactivated. I reported him and Twitch did it. Let's go. So much for free speech. But yeah, this is basically it. Like, all this stuff is why I'm still on Twitter. It is where I have the most reach. I might not, you know, fix the right-wing crisis, but I'm at least pushing back. Oh, also, side note, please don't dox people. It is insane. Like, even if I don't like Kitsu, we have different views when it comes to gender affirming care, because I know that trans kids exist since I was one, and she doesn't think so. Obviously, I don't really agree with her, but like, you know, getting doxed, bad thing. You already dunked on Tectone. It's only a matter of time you get Nurgle champion asked. He apparently called me the R word. I haven't seen any like clip of that. I don't know when he did that, but apparently, like, I had people in my comments in my Twitter replies be like, haha, Aspingold called you the R word. You got destroyed. Don't be like the right, don't dox or give them death threats. Yeah, I don't believe that giving these people the same energy back is justified. No matter how vile and disgraceful I think these right-wingers are. You know, even if I have like people insult me and, you know, throw slurs at me, etc. I don't really want people to like get in there and engage with them. I call out a lot of people, call out a lot of bigoted views and stuff, but like honestly, most of these things are just like ignore. The first thing I did was like mute this thread. I only saw like takedown and I couldn't believe my eyes. I don't think he got the victory that he thought he's going to get. You gotta lay low for a little while longer, big dog. You can't be acting tough after everyone saw you cry defending your dad. Real. This is also always so funny. It's really simple. If you're male, you're a man. If you're female, you're a woman. A man and a woman. Woo! We figured it out. Nyara. Your point being, come on, people can't be that dense. You really are just our. Apparently the clarification of human needed to be added and couldn't be inferred. Jesus Christ. Holy that is always like their rhetoric. And the problem is like they never hold like actual predators accountable. Like you see literally with Tectone. People are jumping on defense and being like, oh, you shouldn't like, you know, talk about his father like that. You know, actually, do you know how stressful it is to go to court and actually be prosecuted by these women that you've abused? That must be like really tough. To this reply, I got stuff like this. Not even a racist would want to you. Go to the kitchen, woman. And then people come around and they're like, oh, trans people are the threat. But they never hold each other accountable. It's always like projecting the awful, cruel actions of their community onto every minority that they are not a part of. At least they gendered you correctly, but that's still insane. Yeah, sometimes I get the gender euphoria because people are saying wild things, wild misogynistic things. With this whole situation, I'm actually not really mad. I obviously didn't expect the same outcome that I had previously with other right-wing creators. Like, I'm aware of the media landscape. I'm aware what is currently lucrative and doing numbers. It sucks that right-wing creators can have a platform. They have a huge voice. They dogpile on creators that oppose them. And anytime they get called out, it just strengthens their bond. The thing that like bothers me is like there's so many like right-wing companies or like companies who literally only care about money. They don't even like worry about who they are partnering with. It's just about how much money can a creator or like a creator's audience actually bring to that company. I was hoping that, I don't know, Gamer Subs was different. Obviously, there are other alternatives that, you know, would have taken on Kirsche anyways, so like this isn't life ruination, how people are saying. I don't know, I just thought that like Gamer Subs was different, and I was wrong. And that's why I also like stopped dragging them in there, because it doesn't do anything.